Understand this. Understand this.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your damn hands together. Get ready to have your earlobes massaged by the one and only
Finesse Mitchell.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We are back. We are back. We are back. One more time. Jeannie D's, we are back.
What's up, brother?
Bro, I brought me a secret weapon this week. Oh my goodness.
Heavy hitter superstar.
I'm gonna say what my this lady who used to raise me. She was like a grandmama, but she wasn't a grandmama. She used to say a fine brown frame, and that's who I got right now. It's Loni Love, everybody. Two-time Emmy winner, NAACP award, author. I tried to change so you wouldn't have to. Memoirs of a Geisha.
I'm done with you, bro.
Crazy.
Loni, how are you, my sister?
I am, I'm doing all right.
You're doing all right.
Better than a lot of people, so I'm not going to complain. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You know what? I love that answer because it is an honest answer during this time, because let me be a little bit more truthful with you. I've been up and down, Loni. Sometimes I'm walking around the house like, damn, this is the same thing I did yesterday. And then sometimes I'm like, yes. And you know what I tried to do? I've tried to bring down those yes moments to smaller stuff. I don't need the big yeses no more to keep me mentally going, to keep me positive in that positive space. You know that needle that sometimes go to the red? I'm trying to keep it out the red.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
you know what helps me is I started doing this about 3 weeks ago, is meditation. And it's something that I was talking to Questlove about it, and he meditates, and he was saying how, he does it helps to focus with your mind and everything. And so I just gave it a try. I've been working on it, and it really does help. It really does center. And I recommend that to a lot of people now, especially what we're going through with this whole pandemic and stuff like this. And when you think you're going to hit that red, sometimes you need to just stop and try to center yourself. And, of course, fast and pray too, but really just try to get yourself, together, because we got to get through this, and we will get through it.
When you meditate, now, do you meditate with sativa or indica? Which one do you meditate with? Do you do flower, edibles? What did Quest actually say?
Quest gave me some different people to look up, but I've just been doing, just simple applications and music. I do it before I go to sleep. I do it when I wake up. Now I try to do it at least 3 times a day, along with my prayers. And it's just calmed me. Because I'm going to tell you, and this is just being totally honest, when you're on a daytime talk show every day, where you're getting attacked by people, when you expect to have some focus, and this is a really bad time right now because of the elections, and you have to, give your opinions. Everybody is not, on the same page as you, but I'm paid to give my opinion. And so I had to learn to be okay with other people not being okay with me.
Loni, I promise you, we were just talking about comments. I said we should just do a whole show on comments. I just saw See the God on CNN. I thought he bodied the segment. And I said reading the comments changed my whole mood, and it got me violent. It got me angry at some just people just like, who told you could do? And I'm like, homie bodied this. And it's his opinion, and they asked him. But I learned this early in show business when I was first on SNL and back in 2003. Amy Poehler was obsessed with reading the blogs and comments. And the first thing she told me was, never read comments. Look at me. I'm ruined, Finesse. And so I was just always stay away from them. How do you deal with that? Because, I know that, you've been carrying the real for a long time. No, I'm just kidding. No, but how do you deal with what you have to deal with, what you have to deal with on the show, as well as like the outside pressure of everybody's opinion off the show?
Well, you got to deal with, first of all, right now we need as many diverse voices on air. on television, radio, podcasts as possible. So, when I wanted to be a comic, I've always wanted to be an entertainer, but what the Real has allowed me to do is to present my voice every day. And the real reason why, and I talk about this in my book, the real reason why, I joined the Real, I always wanted my own show. I mean, me, Finesse, we always was like, look, we're going to get our own, because we stand up comics, people don't understand that. It's like, we know how to produce ourselves. We know what to do, everything.
All the way
but when
down
it was
to
presented to
angles.
me, exactly. But when it was presented to me as this would be the first time that they're going to have a show with all women of color. So, this is something that's going to be groundbreaking. And, and I was like, well, I really don't, I want my own, because I know me. I know, we've been doing the road for 20 years.
Right.
So, what people laugh at, but sometimes those opportunities don't happen. See, people got to remember, and I talk about this in the book, the reason why I wrote a book, first of all, is to tell my story, but also to inspire people. You remember, Finesse, back in, it was about 12 years ago, we were all getting deals. And then what happened? The writer's strike happened.
Right.
And when the writer's strike happened that summer, we were being, I had a deal with, I forgot who it was with, but because I had so many and they didn't go through. But I had a deal. And then what happened was, because of the writer's strike, they couldn't come to a deal. So all of our deals, like, a lot of the stand-up comics and stuff, they got kapushed.
Right.
They failed.
I had
so
Fox.
What happened?
I had 20th Century Fox. I had any type of Fox that has a Fox in the name, Warner Brothers. But then when it goes away as a comic, you're sort of like, wait a minute, a month ago.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So I was basically in limbo. And then what happened? They started putting on reality shows. Now that's like we always had MTV. I'm like a history TV history buff when it comes to this. But they always had they started doing the reality shows, and our agents and managers at that time was like, you know what? You don't want to be on a reality show. You don't want to be on a reality show because that's not going to go anywhere. Well, 15 years later, they still
Right.
So that's number one, to tell you, don't listen to some of these people. Sometimes you gotta go with, when you can't beat them, you gotta join them.
You gotta listen to your gut sometimes, and people don't know what the future brings. But this is what I always say with stuff, and it's just a true statement. Anything that you're going to let minorities in the door in, that thing is going to last. And I don't care if it's rap music all the way down to College Hill. College Hill was the first reality show. But once you give people that in, it's almost like being a barber. You know what I mean? Like, we excel at certain things. That's our thing.
We create culture.
We create culture.
Yeah.
So you can't tell us this ain't going to last. It's too many black people on here for this not to last. It's going to be entertaining.
But you got to remember the thing that reality shows also presented, and I'm saying specifically for black women, was that was the first time you saw more than one black woman in prime time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, you had UPN shows as far as comedy. You had, Monique was like the only one that had like her own solo as a black female. Well, we really didn't see a lot of black females in starring roles. So you got to remember that. So you remember that it kind of took off because this was something new and different, so then that's when you got the Love and Hip Hops, you got the Real Housewives and stuff like that. So during that time, that's when they saw that happening. That's when it comes back to, well, why don't we do a talk show? Not as a reality show, but a talk show that features women, diverse women. See, that's why when people say, well, you just have one, is no. Sometimes it can make it burst into other things. And so that's what actually happens. So that's how the Real was started. But initially it was for me just to have my own show. They told me, this would be a great thing. And I personally did it because I wanted to show the majority of Americans that diverse women are just like them. And I'm talking about the flyover states. I wanted to show them that we're human just like them. We go through the same thing. So in my mind, that's the reason why I said, okay, I'll say yes to the Real.
Do you feel, are you comfortable with the ensemble cast? Are you comfortable? You know what I mean by that? Like, that 20 years of stand-up is something that I have, Jeannie, I have a problem. not necessarily taking direction, but Loni is absolutely correct. I know sometimes, I'm not saying I know everything, but I know what's funny and I know what works and I know what people like to respond to. I'm a friend of The Real on her show, and I can get an instant laugh and also drop some gems, but it's only because I've been doing stand-up for so long. You know what I mean? And so I feel right at home. I feel comfortable, and I know Loni feels comfortable. And then sometimes is you know, you can watch Loni's own social media. Her social media game is strong. I don't know who your team is, but your social media game is strong. When the other people are talking, Loni does Loni faces. And it's
she does. She got the cutaways.
And you can never read them. But in the moment, you're like, I think I agree with that face. Oh, yep, I know what she's saying with that face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it says more than even her talking. And but all the women are strong and all the women are dope. All the women are great at what they do. I feel like sometimes comics, we sit back and we listen to an opinion and we like,
That's right. That's right.
you know what? They're going to tear you up in the streets. Yeah.
We sitting here thinking of a punchline. We like, Okay, for example, you know, it was like when Kim Kardashian said that she was going to become an attorney. So, you know, all the other girls, oh, no, I think it's great. Yes, we love Kim Kardashian. So you sitting back as a comic going, okay, Kim Kardashian's going to become an attorney. And then, you know, you think and you go, you know, she needs to become an attorney because she raising Black kids. And it's deep, but it's also real.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love that. I would love to hear commentary like that only because not only would it make me comment like, yes, Lord, or ooh, child, or you know what I mean? But it's like, you know what? That's true. And it's clever. It's witty. And
but this is the thing though, Finesse, you have to be careful with.
I was just about to say, some people might think it's offensive because they don't even want to try to get the joke and the humor in it. They just take it for face value of what you said. They don't see you smiling. They don't see you laughing. They don't see you lightening the mood. You can't even go, ha, LOL. They won't even accept that. And it pisses you off because you're like, wait a minute. I know for a fact there are 78% of the country laughing right now because I said that. Like, I know my fan base. So when y'all start telling me don't say stuff like that, it might cause controversy. Okay. So what? What if it does? I said something about on a show where I said the whole Jussie Smollett thing, and I said Nigerians walking out in the snow and they had on. I said first of all, Nigerians don't ski. Second of all, that's all I said. Twitter went just like,
really?
Oh, you don't think Africans ski? Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, come on, people. The whole crowd laughed. It was funny. And now all I'm reading are the comments of how that wasn't funny. You know what I mean?
And that's what's happening now. It's like people are forgetting. They're taking everything at face value and not allowing comedians to be comics. You know, I was brought on the show to give it some levity. You know, when things are getting too, you know, don't nobody always want to, you know, talk about bad things. Sometimes you're just talking about, you know, silly things or, you know, I mean, and it's like me doing a joke about Kim Kardashian. Really? Y'all getting upset about that?
Right.
Like, really? It's other things, serious things. And the thing that I've learned is I know when to be serious. And now I know when something can be taken. So I'll instantly go, y'all know I'm joking.
Yes.
Because if I hurry up and say that now, because people take everything I say. I remember one time I was talking about my boyfriend and I was like, you know, I was having sex with him one night and I forgot he was white. All blogs everywhere was like, oh my God, she forgot he was white. And I'm like, are y'all serious?
Right.
Seriously, it's a joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
because
like,
I've done that in real life where I forgot I was with a white lady at the time and forgot. That maybe marijuana would do that to you, but in the moment I kind of opened up my eyes. And
sometimes you drinking.
You know how in the dark everybody's dark, but then after a while your eyes adjust to the darkness. And this pale body started coming through this darkness, and I kept looking up, and I got scared because I was like, And I was like, oh, that's right. SNL days. Anyway, let me ask you this, Loni, and this is something for my young folks out there that's checking us out. What would Auntie Loni tell Loni Love, the 30-year-old Loni Love? Not the 22-year-old, not the, I think I want to be electrical engineer Loni Love. I'm in comedy. I just stomped Comic View. I know I want what I want, but what would you tell that 30-year-old Loni?
I would tell a 30-year-old Loni to get as many audience members as you can and try to get into that field. And that's what I love about the young comics today. You mean
broaden your fan base? You mean like
broaden the fan base? The way you broaden your fan base is by getting as many people. We had MySpace back then. I should have got in on that. I should have tried to get into entertainment earlier. I should have tried to get into movies. I really should have, but they were telling us, oh, do the road. The road is going to build you, which it did. But now I feel bad for a lot of comics because, now we're in a pandemic and now they have no work. Right. I'm fortunate enough where I have work and I was able to build my name up. And so I'm still able to get work through television and through, movies and projects, but they're not able to. So I would tell myself, my 30-year-old self, as I was starting comedy, get to whatever audience that's going to give you a mass audience, whatever vehicle that is, try to get to that quicker. Because that's what I did not do.
Same. Jesus Lord, same. I'm telling you, man, social media came. I knew about it. They came to SNL when I was on SNL at the time and explained to us what Twitter was going to be. Explained to us all the stuff that was popping. And we literally was like, that is the dumbest thing ever. And
we didn't think it would take off.
We thought,
somebody's going to discover us at the Hollywood Improv. It's like, no, they didn't. You have to get a mass of, perfect example. Issa Rae just did Saturday Night Live. And I was looking at the comments about her and a lot of people didn't know who she was. Right. And this is a woman that has a successful show on HBO, but that's a specific audience.
Let me tell you something about SNL. You can say Michael B. Jordan and they'll say who? You can say Idris Elba and they'll say who? It is just a huge, and this is not SNL, the people. They know their audience and they know what translates, and they just you can throw out a name and they'll just be like, if it's not a comedian, the people will be like, who? Now we may know who that person is, and people who are kind of, but then they're thinking of the masses, and I had to really admit to myself, they're right. Because you will start reading comments of, okay, we're going to give this person a try, and you'll just read all the comments. Who's this? Why this person? And you don't know who these people are. But at this point, it doesn't matter. I'm very thankful for the diversity and how far they've come, as far as that particular show.
Well, they need some more diversity, because I saw that episode. And I love Issa, and I think that in my humble opinion, and this is me being a comedian and a writer, there should have been better material for her. They should have called in some I would have to say some Black females. I feel like,
the writer's room is lacking, and that's all over Hollywood.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. It's like that was her showcase, and for them to do that to her, to me, was an injustice, because she's just so much more. The sketches could have been much more in depth. You got all kind of things that you got. I was just thinking about sketches that I would have loved, that you could have written, and sometimes call in the special people. That's the same thing with, and the only reason why I'm saying this, because it's not about her. She's excellent. She was beautiful. She was excellent. It's the material. Right. When you say you are a producer, you have to know how to produce. I do that on my own show. If we have somebody that I know that we need to have some of my input on, I put my input on it. If we got Mary J. Blige, what I mean? I'm like, no, there's a certain type of producer we need to have on for Mary J. Blige. Right. Because Mary J. Blige is iconic in the Black community, and we're not going to do her wrong.
Right.
So so I step in as we are also producers on the show.
Right.
So it's like, and you're trying to diversify. And a lot of people say, well, we need more producers. We need more producers of colors. We do. But the point is that a lot of times they're searching for them.
Right.
And you got to get into those writing programs. Sometimes you have to start off as a PA, and then you work your way up. If you know you're a writer, you're a writer. When I was a comedian as an engineer, I was an engineer for 8 years, but I was always a comedian. I was just Loni, the engineer who was a comedian.
I was an engineer for 2 semesters. Then I switched my major. I went from civil engineering to graduation.
Everybody did. I was the only one. I was like, where's everybody? Everybody was like, I'm gonna be.
Jeannie was an engineer.
That's why I got in.
Yeah, you could have went through it. You could have did it.
I think I could have. My family, they're general contractors in Atlanta. They do very well, and I thought I was going to join the family business. And then, for lo and behold, I grabbed a microphone one day, and the rest is history. And I was like, engineering is boring. I'm about to try to be a star. And that's what happened.
But that's which goes back to people understanding that you can start one way. And, because I just got my engineering degree because I needed dental benefits. Because when you're growing up in the projects, them old people tell you that, girl, get you a good job, you stay away from the men, and get you some dental benefits. And I was like, dental? And I didn't understand why. Lord, thank you, Miss Brooks, because now I know why. Because when your teeth is hurt,
yes,
your whole body hurt.
Your whole body.
So
yep. Absolutely.
Get you some dental benefits, okay? And that's what I did. So I don't, but the whole point is that you could start one way. I grew up in the projects during the crack era. Now,
Detroit,
right? I'm on television. Detroit, straight up. And so you cannot tell me, which kind of goes, and I don't mean to change the subject, but it's pertaining to what's happening right now in our country, where I got out of the projects because of benefits. I was able to go to school because, I got grants, I got work study. I worked for the city of Detroit in the summer times. Those are all social programs. So we have to remember people, that those social programs help the kids. That government cheese that we always joke about, well, that fed a lot of people. It fed me. You know what I mean? So we have to remember that everybody is not on the same economic level as we are, and we have to give back. Right. So when I hear certain people saying, well, I don't want to pay taxes, because this
what's
is too
wrong
high.
with you, 50? I'm sorry. I mean,
I'm saying, I had to look at I was like, do I make over 400,000?
Right. There just has to be a time, Jeannie and Loni, where people who are doing really, really well, you have to realize that even when people don't want to talk about breaks or affirmative action or helping people, even the people that are making over $500,000 a year or the top 10% of wealth, you're that way because you're getting tax breaks. You are getting the help that you claim poor people shouldn't get, but those are the people that need to get it so they can have more money to go to your stores to spend, and you get richer. Versus we just
go to your concerts.
Yeah,
they're able to buy your product. But also I don't mind helping somebody feed their child. I don't mind a college student getting a grant. I don't mind helping us get out of debt because of this pandemic.
Right.
If you gotta, if I gotta pay more in taxes, you know what I mean? So I realize that I'm okay with that. Because somebody helped me.
Absolutely.
These programs helped me. So we should actually give back. And to be a person where you say, well, I don't, dude, how much money you need?
I get into Instagram DM wars with people because my fan base is 50-50. And they're like, but Trump is benefiting you. And I'm like, yeah. But to be honest with you, if my cousin and them can't get in, then I'm cool because I'm already cool. But I'm definitely not going to turn my back on them, knowing that if I wasn't a celebrity and if I didn't make a certain amount of money, I would be one of them. And it's just that simple. Stop telling me what's going to benefit me economically when I'm saying that, listen, overall, just the general mood, just the general how we treat people, just the example you want, just the core of a person, when a person shows you themselves, stop trying to act like you didn't see it. especially when you wanted to bitch over a tan suit 8 years ago. So stop with that.
But in the same vein, Finesse, is that there are real issues, and we do have to listen, especially to our Black men that are saying, we feel like nobody is listening to us. And I'm talking specifically about the Democratic Party. And it's like there are still issues that are happening. They don't listen to us.
But here's the thing that that people just really have to understand. If you go out and vote every 4 years for your president, but you do not vote to get Mitch McConnell out of the Senate Majority Leader, if you do not change that, flip the Senate. If you do not flip it, there's nothing that can get done. It's going to get blocked. And even if you flip the Senate, but then you lose the House of Representatives, your shit's still going to get blocked. So there's only so many executive orders you can do. And
no, that's true.
You know what I mean?
But what they're talking about, and I'm specifically talking about the Ice Cubes of the world and things like that, is that with these contracts, everybody's coming up with their own contracts. I would love for everybody to get together, the NAACP, BLM, Ice Cube, the grassroots
50,
people,
everybody.
Get
Puffy,
together.
Diddy is out there with his...
Because Biden does have a 22-page plan. It's called Lift Every Voice for Black America. The problem is, ain't nobody gonna read that.
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna read that shit. So you got to get out.
Democrats are the worst marketers ever. They just don't know how to market. They don't know how to stay on message. If something happened that was so tragic, they leave it 2 days later instead of just talking about. How long did we hear about Benghazi? We heard about Benghazi every day for 4 years.
You know why? And I'm going to tell you, in my humble opinion, when you say getting out messages, when you say, hitting people and you hear people talking and you just going to ignore them, there's a problem with the people that are supposedly helping these campaigns. So until they get rid of these people, and put in people that actually know what they're doing, that are actually going to move, is no reason why you only have about 11 or 12 Black-owned hosted radio station. I'm talking about hosted. It's no reason why you as a presidential candidate can't hit all 11 of those and talk to those. Because that's where your people are. That's
and
where the
know who you're talking to. And it's up to your people to get you prepped and ready to know who you're talking to, so you don't come across as dismissive. So you don't say something dumb like, well, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Who didn't tell you who this young man was, because he's about to crucify you?
That wasn't his fault.
That wasn't Joe Biden's fault. And
that's what I'm
his people's fault.
That's my whole point.
If you 90 years old, you know what I'm saying, Jeannie? You 90 years old and you see another black face and they're saying you need to talk to this guy. They're not giving you the background. They're not
who
saying,
are these people?
Yeah.
That's my whole point. You got the wrong people that's talking and telling you, go here, go there. I'm like, it's only 11. It's only who are your major podcasts? Who are your major people?
Right.
You know what I mean? Hit them, because then that way you can say, well, at least we tried to present the 22-page plan to everybody in Black America. Yep. We can calm people down. The main thing, if you listen to what Ice Cube say, and I don't agree with what Ice Cube is doing because it's 2 weeks before, but the point is, he said that the Trump campaign got back to me. Biden said we'll get back after the election. That's dismissive.
Right.
And when you really think about it, that's what has people in their feelings.
Absolutely. Because we're tired of being dismissed.
That's all we're saying. Stop being dismissive. You know what? And it's no excuse really right now. You see, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
What we talking on? Where am I? In my house. Where you? So pick
I'm in my closet, but yeah.
Pick a day.
Yes.
Did you talk to specific people of color and hit them? It ain't just, you only doing 8-9 minutes.
Right.
And the reason why I know this is because I have a radio show called Cafe Mocha Radio. 4 years ago, when Barack Obama was president, it was the midterm elections. He did a whole junket. See, what people don't understand about Barack Obama, he was the master of communication.
Absolutely.
He knew how to get out there. He got those people that was out there pressing. For midterm elections, the last midterms, he called us all to the White House.
I'll never forget this, Lonnie. I was hiking up in Runyon Canyon, and listening to Pandora and actually listening to an Outkast. You know, you can pick your station. And, you know, I'm cheap. I don't have the no commercials. So I get commercials. And all of a sudden I hear, the election is getting close. Let me tell you what you need to do. And I'm like, I'm huffing and puffing. I'm like, what I need to do? You know what I mean? But I'm like, wait a minute. I looked at my phone like, this dude is on Pandora on the Outkast station. You know, it's certain demographics and pockets of people that you can reach. Just like circling back to what Loni said, I would broaden my audience to reach everybody. I would tell my 30-year-old self that this is going to be money when you're 40 years old. As long as you just stay consistent and don't neglect everybody. Everybody is a fan if you reach out to them and make them feel special. You know
Everybody is important. Everybody.
Loni Love, I know you got a show to do. I really appreciate you getting back to me, girl. Loni's my sister, bro. I'm telling you, we've been crossing paths and we've been testing them on pilots for talk shows. What's your dream job, real quick? Outside of the Real, what is your dream job right now? If you left the Real, what would you want to do?
My own late night talk show.
Loni Love, late night with Auntie Loni. Hey everybody, that's Loni Love. The book is called I Tried to Change So You Wouldn't Have to Memorize of a Geisha. And it is out and available right now. Memoirs of a Detroit Geisha. It's a dope movie, by the way. Loni, thank you so much. Follow her on social media at Loni Love all across the board. She is everywhere and she's killing it. She's an Emmy winner, people, 2-time, and an NAACP Award, Image Award winner. And she has a great home over there at The Real. They swap out ladies every 2 years, but Loni ain't going nowhere.
You being messy. Go
Hey, it's a mess.
I love you. I love you. Thank you so much. Hey, man, we love you. Y'all subscribe. Understand this podcast. We out.